Hello, thank you so much for volunteering at the Oedo orphanage. We're going to give you some hints and tips of what's going to happen.
So we're going to be meeting around 2:45, 15 minutes before we go into the orphanage. We're all going to sign some paperwork, and the paperwork is going to help make sure that we all take care of the kids like we're supposed to and not sexually assault or abuse them. And then we're going to gather all of our materials and get ready to go. At the pre-meeting plan, we're going to be giving every person something to use to decorate the room. And whenever you go inside, you should just hang it up somewhere or have a kid help you put it somewhere. And one person is going to be in charge of taping some big paper to the tables. And we'll put some crayons around so that the kids can doodle on it as they come in. And once you finish using your decoration, just direct the kids to sit down and start coloring. One of the best ways to encourage the kids to do stuff is to just do it alongside with them. Once we're all settled in, one of our volunteers is going to be reading a story to the kids. I'm not sure what story he's going to read, but regardless, whenever he's reading, he's going to be trying to read with some passion and to get the kids to listen, even though English isn't their own language. And our job is to help the kids listen by encouraging them, listening well ourselves, reacting, and being really dramatic along with the story.
Go to sleep, David. No Christmas for you, David. You were naughty.
So just adding in some of your own flair as we're listening to the story is great. After story time, we're going to be decorating cookies with the kids. One of our volunteers is bringing the stuff to decorate the cookies. So at the place, what we really need to do is just help the kids to make sure that they get an appropriate amount of snacks and help them to decorate and stay clean, and just participating alongside the students, making your own cookies, helping the younger kids do it themselves can really add a lot to the cooking section of the party. After we're done eating our cookies, all of the volunteers need to help clean up the mess and help the students also to clean. And then we're going to start playing our party games. During the first party game, we're all going to be playing together. It's a game that the kids really like, and it's Limbo. So our Limbo game is going to start just like any other Limbo game with just one string to go under. But our Limbo isn't any regular game of Limbo. It is Super Limbo. In Super Limbo, if you pass and clear the string, you get to line up again and go through round 2. But if you're out, you need to line up next to the person holding the limbo string. So at the end of the first round, if 3 people have gotten out of limbo, then they're going to be lined up 3 people next to the first limbo holders. After every person has gone through the first round of limbo, any person who got out and is standing next to the limbo holder can now line up and add a new limbo string to the limbo game. So for our example, it would be that 2 students got out in the first round. So now we're ready for round 2. The first player is in line. Now there are actually 3 limbo sticks to go under because there were 2 and 4 people out in round 2. So now he would have to limbo underneath all 3 of the limbo strings. If he doesn't do it successfully, he would be out. He would again line up next to the person holding the last limbo string, and then at the end of that round, he would get to become a limbo string holder as well. As a teacher, our job is to help the students line up after they're out and also help them get a string to add to the limbo game as the game progresses. So in the next 2 party games, we're going to be split into small teams. But these teams are not the same as your age-appropriate small group. These are going to be teams where all of the ages are mixed together to make the games fair and easy to play for everybody. So we're going to have to help the students find their names that are going to be on papers on the wall. And your name will also be on a paper on the wall as well. And once you find the team, then we'll start to play the first game. So the first game we're going to be playing is the snowman making game, and we're going to be making a snowman with toilet paper. One of the teachers in your group should be the person that gets decorated during this game, and the kids wrap the toilet paper around you and add in eyes, nose, and mouth. We're going to give them about 5 minutes to finish the project, and then the judges are going to choose their favorite snowman. So at the end of the game, you might have something that looks about like this, hopefully with a little bit more toilet paper and a little bit more creativity. But the important thing is to make sure that all of the kids kind of have a role. So help the kids to make a hat or to make a nose or to wrap the toilet paper or just to choose different jobs for each person in the team. And then maybe that's how they can be the most successful team and win the competition. After all of the teams have cleaned up, after the timer's gone off, the judges are going to announce who the winner is. During that time, every teacher should give their students that participated some candy, regardless of whether they won or not. And it doesn't really matter because the winners are going to be getting bracelets to kind of like, everybody gets candy, but the winners get bracelets, but the bracelets aren't so cool that people could get angry that they didn't win. Just encourage your kids for participating. The next party game we've already explained how to play, but basically the kids are trying to make reindeer antlers by blowing up balloons and stuffing them into stockings. We're going to have the balloons up at the front, so the youngest kids from your team need to be running to get more balloons for their team so that their team has the best chance of winning. And at the end of the timer, which is going to be 5 or 6 minutes, the team should choose one kid to put the antlers on, and they'll be judged. Whose is the biggest is going to be the winner. Again, you're all going to have some candy, so please make sure after we announce the winners to give all of your participants a piece of candy, and we'll give the winners a bracelet. After we're finished playing the group games, we're going to split into our age-appropriate teams because we're going to play the game where we each unwrap a ball of presents. If you're with a group of younger students, we're going to be giving you a practice ball for each student so that they can go ahead and get a positive start getting some presents out. And they'll also have a ball to pass around. But if you're with the older kids, we're only going to be giving you the bigger ball to start with. If you have a smaller ball, just give one to each student and let them go crazy unwrapping it because it'll help them practice for when they're actually playing the real game. So to play this game, you want to have your kids sit in a circle, and you're going to start with one student, and they get the chance to unwrap the ball as much as they possibly can to get out any prizes that they can. If they keep going until the person next to them has rolled a 6. So once that person rolls a 6, it's their turn to start unwrapping, and they get to have any present that they can get out. Now, it's important to encourage your students to try and unwrap the ball because if they do try digging into it, they're going to have a much harder time getting the presents out. There's tons of presents in these balls like candy and toys and even some like lotions for the older girls. So anything that the kids get out, they can keep and put in their bag so after your small group of your kids finishes their unwrapping game, it's important to find a way to occupy them. So some of you might bring activities with you to do with your kids. Other people might just kind of wing it and like take them outside to play or play a small game with the dice or read a book to them or anything. But it's kind of up to you what to do, as long as you try your very best to keep the students in your small group away from the other teams. Because we've had problems in the past where the kids would try to come in and take the presents from the other kids while they were still finishing up their game. So we definitely want to try to avoid that as much as possible. So definitely try to find a way to keep your kids occupied. Now, once everybody is finished playing the unwrapping games, it doesn't matter so much that the kids stick with their teams. For example, if you decided to paint the girls' fingernails and a younger kid wants their fingernails painted, they might come up to your team and try to have their fingernails painted too, and that's totally okay. The only thing that we really don't want is the kids snatching presents from each other. But besides that, definitely keep an open mind and be welcome to other kids coming in to enjoy your activity. So after we're finished with everything, we're going to have to clean up the room. And what generally is going to happen is that the kids are going to be wanting to play with all of their new toys. And they're going to be wanting to play with each other. So they might run outside and most of us should go with them. I need a few people to stay behind and help clean up the room, but most everybody else can go outside with the kids. And we'll probably have Santa Claus come and give all of the students some bubbles, and then we have a nice fun bubble party out on the front like lawn. So it's really fun to see the kids and have that last final magic goodbye and end the Christmas party with those super happy memories. Alright guys, so just a few notes before we close up this video. The first thing is that we're trying to make Santa Claus hats with everybody's name on them. So you'll have a Santa hat to wear once you get to the orphanage. Try to keep it around you. If it doesn't fit, just try to keep it around so you can show it to the kids and let them know what your name is. Another thing is that we should all try to only ever be with the group. If you're with your small group and you're outside or something, try to make sure that you always have 2 adults, because sometimes the emotions can get really high, and we've had a few incidences of violence happen in the past, so we don't want anybody to put themselves or the students in danger. So just try to always be at least with 2 adults. And finally, during the games, I'm going to try and have a Google translated copy of how to play the games. You can show them to your students and see if it helps them to understand what we're doing just a little bit more. But it's going to be Google Translate, so it's not going to be that great, but maybe it'll help just a little bit. And yeah, just at the party, just try to relax and have fun, and treat it like it's your Christmas party just as much as it is for the kids, and let's try to enjoy the time together. So we'll be ending the party sometime around 5 o'clock, and after we finish, we're going to go to coffee. You're welcome to come with us. If you're busy, we totally understand. But for anybody that wants to, we're going to go get coffee afterwards, and we can talk about the day and what we liked and just kind of how we felt about the whole thing, and just kind of like share who we are, because it's going to be a pretty, emotional time and exhausting time. And yeah, we just like to share afterwards for anybody who wants to come. So thanks again, guys, for volunteering, and have a great Christmas weekend.